What's up, guys? Trill here, better known as Budget Bill, and this is your third stimulus check update and stimulus package update for Sunday, February the 14th. Good afternoon, everyone. These $1,400 stimulus checks have pretty much been confirmed. The Democrats are hoping to get Biden's $1.9 trillion stimulus package through the House by the end of this month and to be signed by the president by March 14th. As most Americans are upset that the checks will only be $1,400, these checks right now, they appear to be one of a few more checks that may be coming later. Also, the CDC has come out with some new guidelines on the fight against the virus in the United States, as well as across the world. I want to share those with you today. And the White House medical advisor stated that vaccines for children may be coming later this year. Now, those are just some of the topics that we are going to cover today. If this is your first time to the channel, hey, welcome and glad to have you. On this channel, we talk about finance, real estate, credit cards, and stimulus update news. So be sure to subscribe to the channel so that you can be a part of this community. Also, don't forget to hit the like button for me if you enjoy this type of content. It doesn't cost you a single dime for me to bring this information to you, and all I ask is for a simple press of the like button, as it really helps out the channel. Now, let's go ahead and jump right into the video. What's up, guys? We are at the middle stages of getting this relief bill passed into legislation. This is Biden's America Rescue Plan that is expected to get $1,400 stimulus checks into the hands of people who could really use some additional money right now. As prices of goods and services continue to rise in this country and the winter blizzard sweeps across the country this weekend, more families are at risk of losing their homes, no food on the table, and no additional income for their households, which means this is the perfect time to get these $1,400 stimulus checks. And those on Social Security programs such as SSI, SSDI, VA beneficiaries, they continue to get small amounts of money within those programs, which is obviously not enough money to survive these economic times. But the House Speaker spoke briefly to reporters on Saturday and that they expect the stimulus package would go through the House by the end of this month and to be signed by the president by the expiration of many other benefits that are set to expire within the coming months. The PUA, or Pandemic Unemployment Assistance Program, is set to expire on March the 14th. The federal unemployment benefits of $300 per week boost is set to expire on March the 14th. And the PEUC, or the Pandemic Emergency Unemployment Compensation Program, is also set to expire on April the 11th. And without Congress taking swift action, 11.4 million workers will lose their unemployment benefits very soon. This was a scary time, if you recall, back in December when American workers were facing a similar headwind of similar benefits that were set to expire as well. And now we face that same cliff of expirations, but this time they are under a new president. President Biden has vowed to support and assist the American people through this crisis and that we will bounce back much stronger than before. His main objective is to get the fight against the virus. And his number two thing is to restore jobs, reopen schools, and fight for blue states and red states. And so far, we are in a good position as this stimulus package is set to be signed before the end of this month. Nancy Pelosi said that we hope to have this all done by the end of February. Certainly on the president's desk in time to offset the March 14th deadline, when some unemployment benefits will expire. So now that the impeachment trial has ended, the Democrats have more time on their hands to focus on making sure this deadline is actually met. And the American people don't have to stress as much, but not knowing if additional relief aid will be coming their direction. Now, they do plan to send the legislation to the Budget Committee sometime this week, and then it will be sent to the Rules Committee before the House will actually vote on it. There is plenty enough time to get this done before the deadline, but it appears that they will attempt to see if they do have enough votes prior to moving forward with the budget reconciliation process. So far, we know that every Democrat in the House is expected to vote in favor of this bill as it stands right now, and there are plenty of Republicans that support this bill as well. But whether or not that will be enough votes becomes the biggest question. It's unclear whether all of these provisions in the bill will actually pass through the reconciliation process. Pelosi said that the $15 minimum wage will be included in this legislation, even though majority of individuals believe this needs to be separated out. They don't want this minimum wage issues to be the holdup of the overall stimulus package and getting relief aid to those who need it right now. So far, several committees have advanced parts of the stimulus proposal, which will be all combined into one bill in the end, and some of these have already been approved, such as the Education and Labor section, the Financial Services section, Transportation, and Small Businesses sections have all passed their sections of the proposal. Now we are just waiting on the others to do the same, which means we are just that close to finalizing this bill and ready for the vote to actually happen. So everything is looking pretty good and on target in getting this bill passed well in advance of the March 14th deadline. I'm excited about it. I hope you guys are excited about it as well. Now, let's talk about these new CDC guidelines that were just released earlier last week. Just a few days ago, the CDC came out with another new set of guidelines that they wish Americans to follow going forward. Obviously, we know that the virus or the pandemic is forever changing, and it's just like you and I. The CDC is learning new developments every day. And now that there are a few new strains, the CDC is making some new changes to the way that we all protect ourselves, as well as preventing the spread of the virus. For starters, the CDC is now recommending wearing 2 masks instead of 1. They are saying that wearing at least 1 mask at a minimum, but wearing a cloth mask over a surgical mask offers the best protection. And I've noticed that I have been seeing a few people on TV, such as political people as well as news show people, wearing 2 masks at the same time. According to the health officials, this will help prevent the spread of the virus. In addition, the CDC wants to make sure your mask is well fitting to your face. Sometimes you see people wearing a mask that doesn't fit well on their face to prevent outgoing and incoming particles in the air into your face. The CDC is still recommending for people to keep physical distance and avoid large crowds, which this advice really hasn't changed since day one, which is a problem as the Super Bowl was just last week and we saw several photos of people at Super Bowl parties dancing and sweating all together with no mask on. So we can expect the numbers to increase from just that event alone. All those people were mostly in Florida, which means after everyone travels back to their home states, they are subject to transpose the virus to others. And that's exactly how this virus recycles the spread. You party hard in Florida, you go to the airport with other innocent people, you get on the plane with other innocent people, you go back to your state and maybe back to your job with other innocent people, and you potentially infect a large amount of people just because you were careless and didn't take this seriously. Now, even though these new guidelines and recommendations are coming from our leaders, the virus numbers have appeared to be shrinking. These numbers are still going up, however, they are not rising as rapidly as they have been before. Perhaps this is because of the millions of vaccines that have been administered. Perhaps this is because the virus is getting weaker as it continues to mutate itself. We just don't know as of yet. We can only assume right now. But more and more people continue to get vaccinated every day. So I would assume we will continue to have less and less of a spread, and hopefully the curve of the virus cases will begin to sharply decline. And also, the CDC released some guidelines for reopening schools. On their website, they list off the strategies for reopening schools and child care programs. I'm not going to go over all of them in this video, but I will include a link down below to the CDC's website so that you can check them out if you are interested. But if you prefer me to do a video specifically on the strategies in full detail, just let me know down below and I'll try to get that done for you. But I will say these guidelines might be applicable to some places. I know here in Texas, schools are still open right now. Daycares are still open as well. However, kids get to choose whether they want to do remote learning or still have in-person school. So these guidelines don't necessarily apply to everyone. It really depends on the state that you actually live in. In other news, recent studies shows that the vaccines are actually working. The CDC gave a positive update about a week ago. They said that people who have been vaccinated don't need to quarantine if they become exposed to someone with the virus. According to an update, individuals who have been fully vaccinated for at least 2 weeks don't need to quarantine after being around someone with the virus. They are saying that the vaccinated person is protected from symptomatic infections, and the CDC believes that the vaccine prevents people from spreading the virus. This is helpful for people as well as employers as people begin to migrate back into the office sometime later this year. One thing the CDC is not specific on is how long the vaccine actually works. They don't know if the vaccine is effective for 3 months or 6 months or even 9 months, and whether a person that received the vaccine should need to get it again at a later date. They still don't know those answers yet. And just a few days ago, the White House Chief Medical Advisor, Dr. Fauci, said that children as young as first graders might be able to get the vaccine. Fauci said that children may be able to receive a vaccine later this year near the fall or September timeframe. Obviously, the timeline is based on the safety trials amongst young children and the availability of the vaccines. They have recently started clinical trials for different ranges of children. They are beginning grouped in ages of between 12 to 16 years old, 9 to 12 years old, and from 6 to 9 years old, but nothing for children under the age of 6 years old at this time. But by the time that they finish all the clinicals, they are hoping that they don't need to vaccinate children any younger than, as children typically don't have severe symptoms from the virus. There has only been about 200 children that have died from the virus, which is just way too much, by the way. But comparing it to the 2.4 million deaths worldwide, that number is just really a small piece of the pie. But you know, I have asked you guys on a few videos in the past whether you were interested in taking the vaccine or not, and majority of you stated that that's a big fat no. Well, now that it has been several weeks and more than 20 million people have been vaccinated, I wanted to know if your answer has changed in any form or fashion, or if you still stand with the no. But let me know your thoughts about the vaccine and the chances of you taking it in the near future. Also, do you have any friends that have taken the vaccine? What are your thoughts about it? What are their thoughts about it? Let me know what you can down below in the comment section. I'm interested in hearing other people's thoughts on this subject. And with that being said, this has been your third stimulus check update news for today. If you enjoyed any of this information or found it to be useful, be sure to hit the like button for me. It definitely helps out a lot, and it tells YouTube to share this video with others. And if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button for me so that you can be a part of this community. And hit the notification bell to be notified of each new video. Again, hey, I appreciate you guys stopping by and watching, and I hope to see you on the next video. Peace.